Hi everyone. So just in case you're watching it on the replay, just wanted to say hello. And right now I'm just going to wait for people to come in, and in about 3 minutes we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me make sure the volume is all the way up. Hey Lawanda. And I'm sorry for putting my fingers over the camera. I hate when people do that, but I forgot to check the volume before. What are you doing? So let me see. It is 7:02. That's because I am. So my sister said I'm looking full today. That's because I am. Well, I hope you're enjoying the view. She said that she's looking at me when I asked her what she's doing. So I seem like I must have started a little late because it seemed like those 2 minutes went by really fast because I could have sworn I started right at 7. She's laughing. All right, so, but I have to tell them they can't see the chat. But anyway, so if you guys are new here, I am on my business page. Even though both of my Instagram pages are business pages, I have one that's more so personal mixed in with business, and this one is just strictly business. So this is the official IG page for Masterpieces Writing and Editing LLC. And when I first decided to start being more visible on social media, it was supposed to be solely for the business, right? And I was going to share more tips live. Like, this wasn't like something that I thought of recently. Like, I think in 2019 is when like I first started thinking about going live, but I would let fear get in the way, and that's why I didn't do it. And I started to inch into it a little bit with sharing things about my personal life. So those were the first lives that I was able to do. So I was like, okay, so you got to get comfortable enough to where you can go back to your original plan, which was to do the business side of things. So today, if you read the title, I am doing Pick My Brain, and the goal is to do this every other week. And Pick My Brain, you'll have about 15 minutes to just ask me questions about anything. I offer writing tips, editing tips, tips as far as your career goals, if you need accountability, if you want to know how to start writing a book. So, any of those questions that you have, that is what I am here for to answer. And I know that a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs will frown upon what I'm doing because a lot of them will not allow you to ask them questions without you paying the invoice. But because I do offer paid versions of this type of interaction, because I do offer one on one sessions, I felt, what's 15 minutes? So this is kind of like a freebie. I offer tips and I have the YouTube channel, but I wanted to offer something in addition to all of that, something that's more interactive because for a very long time I hid behind my brand. So it was like, okay, let me make sure that I have a catchy logo and that like underneath the logo I have this nice tagline, and that's what'll draw people to it. But what draws people to any brand or business is people. And if they feel connected. And over time, I was like, okay, so I can't just hide behind it because people don't know who they're talking to. I remember once I had someone reach out to me, and I was just telling her, like, I get more interaction on my personal page than I do on my business page. Because she was asking, was I sharing the same content on both pages? And she was like, that's because they want to interact with a person. And I was like, because I had never thought about that before. So this is the first time that I'm actually doing a live video on Masterpieces Writing, and I look forward to doing many, many more. And for a while, I've been posting Ask Us Anything, and I recently changed it to Pick My Brain at the top of the year. And normally, underneath these posts, I get a lot of questions about how to start. So, how to start writing a book, how to start writing a blog, how to start planning out your career goals, or if it's anything personal, like just how to start. And I know that this is going to sound really, really cliche, but to start anything, you have to start. The best way to jumpstart any goal, whether you want to write a book, whether you want to get further in your career, whether you just want to hold yourself more accountable, you just have to start. All right, thank you. See you later. So, like I was saying, you just have to start. You just have to make a conscious decision that, okay, this is what I want to achieve, and I'm just going to start working on it. And as far as me even being here in front of you all tonight, I had to make a conscious decision to show up on live. And once I made that conscious decision, it became easier to make my goal clear. So it's like, okay, so I don't just want to be more visible. I want to show up this many times per month. And now my goal is every week. I started out with every other week. So I know eventually it'll be a few times throughout the week. So I just have to start. And now that I'm becoming more comfortable with speaking in front of people, because that's the reason why I did YouTube first. My accountability partner suggested that, okay, so if you're having an issue getting on live, start doing YouTube because you can control that. You can edit things when you might say things in the wrong way, or if you forget to say things, it's like you can just edit it out, go back in, do it over. And I was like, okay, I like that because I could control it, right? But with live, it's like whatever you hear, whatever you see, that's whatever you hear and whatever you see. And that was very intimidating to me. But when I pushed myself to do it, it was like, okay, what's the worst that can happen? And of course, like, because even now, even though it's not as bad as it was in the beginning, I still feel the increased heart rate. I have the nervous sweats. You guys just don't see all of that. And I feel that whatever it is that you want to achieve, that's more important than any of the things that can hold you back. So make that conscious decision to go after what you want. And after you make that conscious decision, make it clear. Specify your goal. Make it clear so that you can know exactly what you're working toward, because you don't just want to say, okay, I just want to get better at writing. What exactly are you improving? That's very broad. Even as far as career. So I want to improve my professionalism. What about your professionalism? You have to know specifically what it is. So going back to writing, I want to improve my descriptive writing, my creative writing. Okay, we can start with that. As far as professionalism, I want to practice speaking more clearly and enunciating well. That's clearer. So make sure that you make the conscious decision, that you specify your goal, and that you start doing the work. Just start. Like you don't have to have everything clearly planned out, because trust me, all the things that you see me doing now, I'm figuring it out. But when I first made the conscious decision, I had absolutely positively no idea what I need to do besides just start. And over time, things will come to you. It will get clearer to you. It will become easier. Even going back to the YouTube channel. When I first started doing my videos, I recorded my video on an outdated laptop webcam. And I couldn't even edit it because when I tried to, the sound didn't mess up. It didn't match up with the image. And I was like, ugh. And I didn't want to put something out there like that. So I just had to upload each take that I did individually. And it looked a hot mess at first, but I felt that the message is what stood out. And that is what people were going to remember. Not necessarily that the quality wasn't all that great. They were going to remember what I said. And even though it's still not a lot of views, it still was more views than I anticipated, because, again, I was just putting it out there and I was just starting. So put yourselves out there and just start. Like, you're never going to know exactly the perfect time to start anything. And it will be in hindsight that you will realize, oh, this particular moment, this is the perfect time. And if you hadn't started, you still would be sitting there waiting and thinking like, wow, like, well, what could have happened? And it's like once you start, you realize you're much closer to your goal. When before you didn't have an idea of what that was. But it's like now, okay, I started moving. I know what my goal is and I'm doing what I need to do in order to get there. So that is my advice to anyone who is looking to jumpstart any goal in any area of your life. Just start. Just start. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Just do it. And on my personal channel, you will see some, I think they're under the behind the scenes videos where I just talk about, like, you just have to go with it. Nothing's going to be exactly the way that you want it to be. You just have to go with it. So we have someone who joined in. Hey, Ashley. So I was just talking about how you just have to go with it. You just have to do it. Don't overthink things. Know that what is for you is for you, and regardless of what happens or what doesn't happen, it's not going to stop you from getting to your goal if you are dedicated to getting to your goal. So just start. And anyone who has been wondering, like, okay, so I'm not sure if I should do this, or I'm not sure when I should start, and it's like, I don't even know if this is really what I want to do. Just start. And even if it is something that you might be considering and you're not absolutely sure, once you start doing it, you will realize whether it's for you or not. Like, if it doesn't feel right, it's like, okay, at least I know I tried. And you don't have to wonder about, okay, maybe that was for me, maybe it wasn't. But see, you know. And that's all a part of life. Like, we're not going to get every single thing right. I was talking to my sister earlier that that's a big part of the reason why we struggle with perfectionism. We're so obsessed with getting everything right, and it's like there's no possible way for us to know what's right and what isn't until we just do. And we don't necessarily know what we like and what we don't like until we just do. And then it's like, okay, now I know. So don't be afraid to just go out there and just start doing the work. Just start working toward what you know is for you. And even if down the line you realize that it's not, you can go back to the drawing board and start something else. It's really that simple. It's not a lot of logic. If anyone was expecting me to have like this, magic answer or like this clear, concrete method or plan, no. You just have to start doing it. And the more that you do it, the more comfortable you will get with doing it. And after a while, you won't have to put in that much effort because it's innate to you. And it's just a part of your being. So I hope that you all were able to get some nuggets out of everything that I have said tonight. And if there is anything that you all want me to discuss going forward, please feel free to drop it in the comments or send me a DM. I am always open to your comments and I do listen. A lot of things that have been viewer requested from my followers, that's what I'm focusing on now. And I feel that, okay, if they want this content, I'm going to give it to them. And if you want to see some of the other things that I have been doing, you can check out the official YouTube channel for Masterpieces Writing and Editing LLC. You can click the link in my bio. Also, you can go to my website if you want to learn more about the services that I offer, and if you want to pick up my new ebook, How to Write a Book Without Breaking the Bank, which teaches you how to write a book from start to finish without spilling all your money. So go ahead and go to the link in the bio, and you'll be able to check out all of that. And I am excited that I was able to do this video because, like I mentioned, I have been putting it out for a while, but this is the first of many, many, many more to come. And I hope that you all join me next week on my personal channel at She Writes Masterpieces, and I'll be doing another Let It Go Wednesday. And if you're not familiar with those videos, that's when I start sharing my personal experiences and I discuss things that I am letting go. And I hope that it inspires you to let those things go too. So I'm working on doing this every other week. So one week you'll have Pick My Brain here on at Masterpieces Writing. The following week on at She Writes Masterpieces, you'll have Let It Go Wednesday. So I hope that you all stay tuned for all the great things that I have planned. And like I mentioned before, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. And thank you guys for tuning in with me. And I will see you all in 2 weeks. And if you're joining me on my other page next week, I'll see you in 1 week. So I hope that you all have a great evening, and I will see you guys later. Bye.